Hi, this is Curt Barone, and welcome to another edition of Fire Law Roundup.
Okay, I love this one. We're gonna go out to Beverly Hills. Probably not cheap vehicles out there. And this is a really strange lawsuit. This is in 22. A fire truck blocks a street, I believe. It seems like it's going to be for a fire-related emergency. Somebody drives down. This is the person who's driving down, sues, but drives down. The firefighter is driving down the street. The firefighter opens a door, 250-pound door, 200-pound door, allegedly, and opens the door right into, I'm guessing, a very expensive car. And causes substantial damage to the car, and they're suing the fire department. It should be the opposite way. They're suing the fire department for, damage to the car, etc. You went into a California law, and you said there's a New York has no such law. You said Rhode Island has a similar law.
Before you say that, go ahead. I'll tell you a little story about Rhode Island, but go ahead.
Okay. So, and look, there are laws: failure to obey a traffic control device, failure to yield the right of way. This is how New York would deal with it. You didn't yield to the vehicle. You went right next to it. Stay behind laws, don't follow laws, those types of things. Move over lane laws, which we have and many states have now. But nonetheless, here it's, you can't be near a vehicle, the law says, right? An emergency vehicle blocking an intersection, and they just run right down it. So jump to Rhode Island, I guess. So anyway, it's just a lawsuit, but it's a crazy lawsuit. The fire department should sue this guy, frankly.
Right. Well, most states have a law that prohibits someone from opening a door into traffic. So if you're on the curb side, you can open the door, no problem. But if you're on the street side, you've got to make sure that it's clear. Okay. So most states have that. Most states, whenever I've looked, states have had it. Can't speak for New York. I haven't searched it, but I'm assuming.
I'm looking now. I'm curious. I've never seen it.
Okay. So now, but most states that I have seen also have the other law that say that when an emergency vehicle is stopped at an incident scene, you cannot proceed on that block. You cannot drive onto that block. And then in California, and that's what ours says. And then if the block is longer than 300 feet, you can't come within 300 feet of the incident. Okay. And that's so that people can take equipment off trucks and stretch hose lines. And you can't, you don't know which side of the street it's on. If the truck is in the street, they could be parked on the opposite side or whatever. So bottom line is you can't proceed. So here we go. Chief Barone gets dispatched. I think I was out on the air. I'm pretty sure I was out on the air because I ended up first in a reported building fire, which I always try not to do as a chief because right. You want to let the folks get in there and get set up first. But it ends up I'm there first. Okay, and it was one of those where I'm trying to see the numbers in my advanced age. I'm trying to catch the house numbers, and I apparently went by it. Okay, so I backed up. And someone had pulled in behind me when I went by. So I didn't see him there. I had a lot of gear in the back of the SUV I was driving. So I backed into him at the scene. Okay. So do my reports and everything. It turned out to be like food on the stove, something like that. So the city attorney calls me about, I think, 3 or 4 months later, and says, we've got a claim here. We're just going to pay it. I just wanted to, kind of go over some of the facts with you. And I said, why are you going to pay it? He said, well, you backed into a car. I said, yeah, I was at a fire though. And he said, well, what's that got to do with it? And I said, well, there's a law that says, you can't, a vehicle can't. He goes, there's no such law. He's telling me, right? And this is a kid. He's like 2 years out of law school, relatively new, right? And I said, what do you mean there's no law? There's a law. I don't have the citation for you, but I'll get it. He says, well, we'll get it for me. And I said, so it took me 15 minutes. So get the law, shoot it down to me. He goes, holy cow, I had no idea that was there. Yeah, we're not going to pay this. Right. So again, and come to find out, and that was the first incident that came to mind. And I've used that in other cases as well. But the bottom line is that, laws like that exist in California as well. And I think if you dig in, they're not usually easy to find.
Right. New York, I just look, has a normal law says don't open your vehicle in traffic unless it's safe to do so. There's no emergency vehicle exception, but I could come up with other laws that would kind of meld into that.
Yeah. Well, look around, because I was surprised that California, I knew we had it. And then when I looked, California, but it wasn't easy to find. These laws are not intuitive. They're not all under an emergency vehicle code. They're in different parts of the traffic regulations. So, but bottom line is that was, you know, a little bit of factoids for our audience. So,
but everybody should look. I mean, you know, you open a door to step into traffic, we should be looking anyway.
Well, right? It could have been another company coming in. You know, you want to look, and you know, from the description, it says it says opened a 200-pound truck door, but it doesn't say whether or not it's like the jump seat door or whether it was a compartment door.
I'm assuming it's the passenger door.
I made that assumption as well, but again, it just says fire truck door. So we have a boatload of doors on our trucks. So
yes, we do. Yes, we do.